The ocean had always been a place of mystery. Even in the 22nd century, when humans had built cities under the waves and machines could withstand pressures that would crush a submarine, the deep sea remained vast and unknowable. Captain Alara Voss had spent her life exploring it, drawn not only to its beauty, but also to the stories it might hide. Today, she and her team were descending into one of the most mysterious regions of the Pacific Trench. Where rumors of old sunken ships had persisted for decades, the submarine Aquila slid smoothly into the icy water. Its lights cut through the darkness, revealing a world of strange colors and alien-like creatures moving silently in the pressure-cold sea. Alara leaned forward, her eyes scanning the sonar readouts. "Captain," said Ryan, her assistant and chief engineer, "we're approaching the first anomaly. Depth is 21,000 meters. Hull integrity is stable." Alara nodded. "Keep it steady. I want to see every detail before we touch anything." The lights of the Aquila fell on the first object, a massive rusted hole lying on the ocean floor. Its shape suggested a warship, but its exact age was hard to determine. Coral and seaweed had claimed its decks, and small fish darted in and out of openings where windows and doors had long since corroded. "By the look of this," said Mira, the historian of the group, "it could be from the early 21st century. But it's hard to say. The sea doesn't forgive time." Alara studied the hole in silence. Something about it called to her. "Prepare the drones," she said. "I want to explore this hole from inside as well." Tiny exploration drones buzzed forward, their cameras sending live footage to the main display. The team watched as the robots moved through the broken corridors and cabins. Rust and decay were everywhere, yet the structure remained recognizable. A library, now home to small crabs. A captain's cabin, still containing the skeletal frame of a desk. Drawers filled with papers and objects long faded. Then something unusual happened. As one drone hovered near the captain's cabin, the light reflected off a small metal box. Alara reached for the controls to guide the drone closer. "Look at this," Mira whispered. "It's a journal. It survived the sea." The drone picked up the box, and Alara carefully opened it. Inside were pages, soaked and fragile, but still readable. She picked one up with gloved hands and began to read. "The waves are endless, but so is hope. We sail not just to survive, but to remember who we are." Her breath caught. The words felt alive, as if the sailor who had written them was speaking directly to her. She turned the page and found drawings, sketches of the ship, the sea, and faces of the crew. Something in the strokes conveyed emotion, pride, fear, joy, and longing. Ryan frowned. "Captain, are you feeling all right?" "You've been quiet," Alara smiled, though her mind raced. "It's just this journal. I can feel the life of the person who wrote it. It's more than words. It's like the ship itself remembers." Myra's eyes widened. "You mean the ship carries memories?" Alara nodded slowly. "Yes. Look at this metal, the way it has preserved everything. I think it's not just physical, it's emotional. Like echoes trapped in the hull." The team spent hours examining the ship. Each cabin told a story. A child's toy left in a corner, a photograph taped to a wall, a letter still tucked under a pillow. And each object seemed to awaken something in the team. Some felt joy, others sorrow, but all felt a deep connection to the sailors who had once lived aboard. As the team worked, something extraordinary happened. Alara placed her hand on the hull near the captain's cabin. A wave of warmth spread through her, unlike anything she had felt before. Suddenly, the world around her shifted. She saw the deck filled with sailors, young and old, laughing and shouting orders. She felt the wind on her face, smelled the salt in the air, and heard the distant roll of thunder above the waves. It lasted only a moment, but it was enough. Alara staggered back, her heart pounding. Did anyone else? Ryan shook his head. "I didn't feel anything." Myra hesitated. I saw it too, but not like you. Just flashes. Moments. A life lived on this ship." Lara nodded. "The memories. They're here. They survived the rust, the water, the centuries, and they're calling to us." The team spent the next days carefully exploring the surrounding area. They discovered more rusted hulls, each with its own story. One held memories of long voyages across the Atlantic, another of a family crewed together for survival. Each time a team member touched a hull, fragments of the past came alive: joy, determination, sorrow, and hope, mingling in a vivid tapestry. But not all memories were easy to witness. Some showed accidents, storms, and moments of fear. The team realized these ships were honest records of life, not just glorified tales. Every sailor, every crew member, left a piece of themselves behind, etched into the metal and the water. Aylar spent long hours in the captain's cabin of one ship. She began recording what she saw, documenting each memory. She spoke softly, as if to honor those who had lived and worked aboard the rusted hull. "We are listening," she whispered. "We remember you. Your courage, your care, your humanity, it lives on." Mira joined her one evening, holding a delicate sketch. "Captain, look at this." The sailor drew a map of the stars. He loved the sky even from below the waves. "Isn't that something?" Elara smiled. "It's everything. These ships, they're more than history. They're a reminder. Humanity has always been brave, resourceful, and compassionate. Even in the face of the deepest oceans, the hardest storms we endure." That night, as the team rested, Elara could not sleep. She thought about the sailors whose lives had been captured in rust and memory. She imagined the challenges they had faced, the bonds they had formed, the dreams they had nurtured despite fear and danger. She understood now that the ocean had not swallowed their stories. It had preserved them, waiting for humans willing to listen. The next morning, the team returned to the first hull. This time, Elara suggested something new. "Let's see if we can awaken the memories together. Not just individually, maybe. Together we can understand the whole story." The team gathered around, placing hands on the hull. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, a light shimmered beneath the rusted metal. It was faint, almost imperceptible, like the shimmer of sunlight on calm water. And then the memories flowed not in words, but in sensation. They felt the rhythm of the ship, the heartbeat of the crew, the shared hopes and fears of every sailor aboard. They saw the preparation for a storm, the careful coordination to protect the ship, the laughter shared over a small meal, the letters sent to loved ones waiting far away. Every detail mattered. And as they watched, the team understood something profound. These memories were not meant to be hidden. They were a gift, a lesson from the past to the present. Elara spoke softly. "The sea has given us a treasure greater than gold. It's the memory of humanity, our courage, our care, our resilience. These sailors are not gone. They live in us now, reminding us who we are." For the first time in days, Elara felt a sense of peace. The ocean was no longer a mystery to fear. It was a library of experience, of hope, of the enduring spirit of humanity. And in the rusted hulls, she and her team had found the voices of those long gone. Speaking across centuries to those willing to listen, the Aquila remained moored above the first ship. But Elara knew this was only the beginning. Beneath the waves lay countless stories waiting to be discovered. And humanity, she realized, was ready to hear them. As they prepared to descend to the next hull, Elara looked back at the first. The rusted metal gleamed faintly in the submarine lights, as if acknowledging their presence. The memories had chosen to awaken, and she promised silently to honor them. "This is just the start," she said, more to herself than anyone else. "The ocean remembers. And so will we." The days that followed were filled with discovery and wonder. Captain Elara Voss and her team had barely begun to scratch the surface of the sunken fleet, and already they felt the weight of the stories hidden in the rusted hulls. Each ship held a different life, a different era. Yet together, they formed a mosaic of humanity's courage and creativity. Elara often found herself standing before a hull for hours, letting the memories wash over her. One afternoon, as the submarine Aquila hovered above a massive ship, nearly intact, despite centuries underwater, Elara motioned for the team to prepare the drones. "This one looks special," she said. It's larger than the others and the structure is well preserved. I have a feeling it will teach us something new." Ryan, always cautious, frowned. "Captain, the hull looks fragile. We need to be careful not to damage it." Ilara nodded. "We will. But we need to understand it. That is our purpose here." As the drones explored the ship, the team discovered signs of innovation from centuries ago. One cabin contained tools arranged with precision, as if the crew had anticipated every possible problem at sea. Another room held detailed maps and calculations, showing navigational knowledge far ahead of its time. Ilara marveled at the ingenuity of those long-gone sailors. Mira, the historian, picked up a small notebook. "Captain, look at this." They were recording experiments. Not weapons, not wealth, but ideas. They were learning, improving, and passing knowledge to each other. Ilara smiled. "That is what makes humanity extraordinary. We don't just survive. We learn. We adapt. And we remember." These sailors understood that, even in the face of danger and uncertainty. As the team explored, they began to feel more than curiosity. They felt guidance. The memories in the hulls seemed to respond to their questions, offering solutions through flashes of insight and careful planning. One day, a crisis struck the underwater settlement where the team lived. A sudden shift in the tectonic plates created a dangerous pressure fault near the main habitat. Alarms blared, and the team rushed to the control center. Ryan's voice was tense. "The walls won't hold. If the fault continues, part of the habitat could collapse within hours." Lara took a deep breath, her mind racing. She remembered the sailors' memories she had experienced. The way they had solved problems with teamwork, courage, and ingenuity. Slowly, a plan began to form. "Listen," she said. "We have knowledge here. The hulls we explored. They show us how humans overcome challenges. We can use that same thinking. Let's combine their methods with our technology. Think of it as guidance from the past." Mira looked puzzled. "From the sailors, how can memories help us stop a fault?" Ilara smiled. "It's not magic. It's understanding. They faced storms, shortages, and disasters. Their solutions were simple, practical, and clever. We can adapt those ideas to our situation." The team worked tirelessly. They used flexible support beams, inspired by the way the sailors reinforced fragile parts of their ships. They designed pressure release channels using observations of how hulls had withstood immense force over centuries. Every action they took was guided by the lessons preserved in rusted memories. Hours passed. The pressure grew, but so did their determination. The team moved in perfect coordination, trusting both the technology and the wisdom of those who had come before. Finally, the last support was secured, and the fault stabilized. The alarms ceased, and the habitat was safe. Ryan exhaled in relief. "I don't know how we did it. That was incredible." Ilara looked thoughtful. "We did it because humans are not just strong or smart. We care for each other. We observe, learn, and act. The memories of those sailors reminded us of what we are capable of." The experience changed the team. They began to see the hulls not just as artifacts, but as teachers. Every day, they would visit a new ship, allowing the memories to flow through them. They learned about leadership from a captain who had guided a crew through a violent storm. They learned about courage from a young sailor who saved a comrade despite overwhelming odds. They learned about kindness and loyalty from sailors who shared what little they had to support each other. Even the smallest details mattered. A sailor's careful organization of supplies taught the team about efficiency. A poem carved into a bulkhead reminded them of hope during dark times. The ocean, once intimidating and mysterious, became a vast library of lessons waiting to be read. Ilara began documenting everything. She and Mira worked together to create a catalog of the lessons they learned, carefully recording not only facts and designs, but also emotions, decisions, and the reasoning behind every action. One evening, as the team gathered on the observation deck of the Aquila, Ilara reflected aloud. "We always talk about space as the final frontier, but the ocean is its own vast universe. And within it, we find the best of humanity. Courage, creativity, compassion, these qualities survive even when the people who had them are long gone. Mira nodded. And the more we understand, the more we can apply them to our lives today. These sailors, they didn't know us, but their experiences are teaching us anyway. Ilara smiled, feeling a quiet pride. That is the essence of HFY humanity. F******. Yeah, we endure, we learn, and we grow. And sometimes, even the past reminds us of that truth. The next day, the team approached a particularly large hull, older than any they had encountered. Its metal was thicker, its design more elegant, and it seemed to radiate a subtle energy that made the water around it shimmer faintly. "This one feels different," said Ryan. Almost reverently, Ilara touched the hull. Immediately, she was flooded with images. She saw the ship being built, watched sailors training, witnessed storms and rescues, and even felt the quiet moments when crews wrote letters home or shared stories at night. The memories were vivid, almost overwhelming, but also beautiful. Mira reached out, and this time she could feel it too. "It's like we're living their lives," she whispered. "Not all of it, but pieces of it. Moments of hope, courage, and learning," Ilara nodded. "And we can carry those moments forward. The knowledge, the lessons, the values, they are ours now. We can use them to solve problems, to build, and to care for each other." Over the following weeks, the team became adept at reading the hulls. They began to see patterns in human behavior that transcended time. Cooperation, innovation, and empathy were constants, regardless of the era. The memories were more than historical data. They were a blueprint for how humans could thrive in any environment, even under the crushing pressure of the deep ocean. During one late-night dive, Ilara had a vision unlike any before. She saw generations of sailors teaching each other, passing down knowledge, and supporting one another in times of fear. She realized that the memories were not only preserving the past, but also guiding the present and future. Humans were capable of extraordinary things. When they remembered who they were and worked together, Ilara shared her thoughts with the team the next morning. "We often think of technology or strength as what makes humanity special. But the truth is, it is our spirit. Our ability to care, to learn, to create solutions, and to endure. These hulls are teaching us that, and we are just beginning to understand it." The team nodded in agreement. They felt a renewed sense of purpose. The rusted ships were no longer relics of a forgotten past. They were mentors, offering lessons to anyone willing to see. And humanity, Ilara knew, had a future shaped not only by innovation, but by the wisdom of those who had gone before. As they prepared for the next dive, the team looked out over the glowing abyss. Countless ships lay waiting, each holding a treasure of knowledge and memory. Ilara felt a deep excitement. The ocean was not a place to fear, it was a vast living record of humanity, and they were the students fortunate enough to learn from it. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "There is so much more to discover, and with every lesson we learn, we grow stronger. Not just as explorers, but as humans." The Aquila descended into the darkness, carrying the team toward new discoveries. The rusted hulls below glimmered faintly, as if acknowledging the attention of those who had come to listen. The memories were patient, waiting to teach, inspire, and remind. And humanity, through the courage and insight of this small team, was ready to learn in the deep silence of the ocean. The hulls whispered their timeless stories, and the team responded with determination, gratitude, and the enduring belief that humanity, curious, brave, and compassionate, was capable of anything. The ocean was alive with whispers of the past. Captain Ilara Voss and her team had spent weeks exploring the rusted hulls, absorbing the memories they carried. Every touch, every glance offered lessons in courage, kindness, and ingenuity. Yet as remarkable as these discoveries were, Ilara felt there was something more, a deeper secret beneath. The waves that the hulls were guiding them toward. "This area is unusual," Ryan said one morning, scanning the sonar. "The readings are stronger. The energy from the hulls is concentrated here." Lara leaned over the console. "Could it be a larger cluster? Or perhaps something older than the ships we've already seen?" Mira, ever the historian, shook her head in awe. I've studied countless shipwrecks, but nothing like this. It's as if the ocean itself has preserved a fleet, waiting for us. With careful planning, the team prepared the Aquila for the descent. The pressure here was immense, but the submarine held steady, lights cutting through the darkness of the abyss. As they approached, the scale of the discovery became clear. A hidden fleet lay sprawled across the ocean floor, larger, older, and more intact than anything they had seen before. The hulls glimmered faintly, as though responding to the human presence above. Alara's heart raced. This is extraordinary. It's more than history. It's a legacy of human experience. Ryan piloted the submarine carefully between the ships, while Mira documented every hull, noting differences in design, age, and purpose. Each ship told its own story, but together, they formed a network of memory. Connecting generations of sailors through time, Ilara approached one particularly massive vessel. Its design was elegant, yet functional, with metal that had withstood centuries under crushing pressure. She reached out to touch the hull, and immediately, the memories came alive. She felt herself aboard the ship, surrounded by sailors preparing for a long voyage. She experienced the anticipation, the meticulous planning, and the quiet courage that carried them forward. She saw the bonds they formed, the small acts of kindness that made life aboard the vessel possible, and the moments of ingenuity that allowed them to overcome storms. Equipment failures and unforeseen challenges. It was overwhelming. She staggered back, but the team caught her. Mira whispered, "Captain, I can feel it too. This fleet, it's like a library of lives, each one preserved for us to learn from." Lara nodded, her mind alive with new understanding. It's more than just memory. It's a guide. The past is showing us how humanity can endure, how we can rise to challenges, and how we can care for each other in ways that matter most. For days, the team explored the hidden fleet, allowing themselves to be fully immersed in the experiences of the sailors. Each hull offered new lessons: the importance of teamwork, the value of foresight, and the power of empathy. They learned how simple acts of collaboration and understanding could achieve what no single person could accomplish alone. One evening, as the team rested on the Aquila's observation deck, Alara spoke quietly. "We've seen courage, creativity, and resilience. But these ships show something else, something even deeper. Humanity's greatest strength is its ability to connect, to remember, to care, to inspire each other." Ryan nodded. "It's like the past is alive down there, teaching us. And the lessons aren't just for emergencies or exploration, they're for life," Myra added. "It's a blueprint of our best selves. Every sailor, every crew, has left something behind that can guide us forward." Alara thought about the settlement above, the communities relying on each other to survive under the ocean. The lessons from the fleet were not just historical curiosities. They were practical, applicable wisdom. She realized that humanity's growth, whether under the waves or on distant planets, depended on these timeless qualities: collaboration, compassion, ingenuity, and courage. The team continued to catalog the memories. They recorded engineering solutions from centuries-old vessels, navigational techniques refined over decades, and even simple life lessons from daily routines. Each memory, each story, was treated with respect. They were not trophies or curiosities. They were mentors. Teachers from the past reaching across time. Then, one day, a breakthrough came. As Alara placed her hand on the largest hull, the memories surged more vividly than ever before. She saw the cumulative experiences of countless sailors, generations teaching each other, learning from mistakes, and building upon achievements. It was a living tapestry of human endurance and spirit. The vision revealed something extraordinary. These hulls were not isolated relics. They were a network of human legacy, preserved beneath the sea to guide future generations. The sailors had not intended this. They had simply lived, learned, and left traces of themselves, but the ocean had become a repository, a guardian of human memory. Alara shared the discovery with the team. This fleet, it's a guide. Not for technology or wealth, but for who we are as humans. It teaches us what we can accomplish when we work together, when we care, when we strive to be our best selves. Mira's eyes shone with excitement. We could preserve this knowledge for everyone. Not just for scientists or explorers, but for all humanity. Imagine the generations who could learn from these memories, Ilara smiled. Exactly. This is bigger than any one mission or discovery. It's a legacy waiting to be shared. Over the following weeks, the team developed a plan to create a digital memory archive based on the fleet. Using advanced technology, they captured the memories and lessons without disturbing the ships themselves. Each memory was carefully recorded, preserving the emotions, insights, experiences of the sailors while remaining true to their origins. The project was challenging, but the team was determined. Every hull they explored added new depth to the archive, enriching the lessons for future humans. They realized that this work was not just about studying the past, it was about shaping the future. One evening, as the team completed the recordings for the day, Ilara stood on the observation deck, gazing down at the hidden fleet. The water shimmered faintly, reflecting the lights of the submarine and the stars above. She felt a profound connection not only to the sailors below, but to all of humanity. They waited for someone to listen. She said softly, and we did. Not just for knowledge, but for understanding. Their courage, their creativity, their compassion, they live on in us now. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder, and now it's our responsibility to carry it forward, to inspire others, to teach, to guide. Mira nodded. The ocean preserved these memories for a reason. They're not just reminders, they're instructions, lessons we can use anywhere, under any circumstances, to become better humans. Lara smiled, her heart full. Then let us honor them. Let us share this legacy with the world. Let humanity remember who we are, what we can do, and what we should strive to be. The Aquila ascended from the depths, carrying the team and the beginnings of a new archive. The rusted hulls remained below, silent but vibrant with memory, holding the lives of sailors long gone. They were not forgotten. Their courage, ingenuity, and compassion would guide humanity for generations to come. In the weeks that followed, Ilara and her team worked tirelessly to share their findings. Schools, settlements, and research stations across the underwater colonies accessed the archive. Children learned about bravery and teamwork from sailors who had lived centuries ago. Engineers adapted old solutions to modern problems. Leaders discovered the value of patience and empathy, and everywhere people were inspired to connect, collaborate, and care for one another. The impact was profound. Humanity, already resilient and inventive, became even more conscious of its potential. The lessons of the past, preserved beneath the waves, had sparked a renaissance of spirit and understanding. The ocean, once feared and unknown, had become a mentor, a guide, and a symbol of the enduring human legacy. Ilara often returned to the observation deck, gazing down at the hidden fleet. The rusted hulls lay quietly, yet she could feel their presence, as if they were watching over humanity, still teaching, still guiding. She whispered a promise to them: "We will carry your lessons. We will honor your courage, your creativity, and your compassion. Humanity will remember, and we will continue to grow. Your legacy is safe with us." The ocean remained deep, mysterious, and alive, and beneath its waves, the rusted hulls continued to hold the memories of sailors long gone, memories of hope, courage, and humanity. And above, on the surface, and in the underwater settlements, humans thrived, guided by the lessons of those who had come before, forever reminded that their true strength lay not only in technology or strength, but in the enduring spirit of humanity itself. As the sun's light filtered through the ocean above, Ilara smiled. The rusted hulls had spoken, humanity had listened, and a new chapter had begun. One where the past and present worked together to inspire a future full of courage, wisdom, and hope.